Hello, college biology. We are now going to do our video on the differences between our cell types. That would be eukaryotes, bacteria, and archaea. And we're going to talk about some viruses while we're here too, because they're quite a bit different. So, what do we have? We mentioned about our similarities. We've got our eukaryotic cell here. We've got our bacteria and our Archaea model here, and we've got our virus up here in this corner. So let's talk about nucleic acids. Well, our nucleic acids, our primary nucleic acid in eukaryotes is DNA, and they are in long linear chromosomes, as we have talked about. We had 46 in human cells, and there are like 8 in fly cells, and there is a different number in a different, per species. But there are always these linear chromosomes. Well, bacteria and archaea do not organize their nucleic acids the same way as we do. No, they have one super long chromosome that is in a loop that is attached to the cell membrane. That is their super long chromosome. They also have little tiny rings called plasmids that are like little mini loops, little mini chromosomes. Now, in this two-dimensional model, it looks like the little loops are inside the big loop, but that's not really true. They just kind of float around in this particular region, passing in and out and through, and it's not a three-dimensional bubble. It's just literally the loop. So they can just kind of float around through this. This is called the nucleoid region, where you end up finding all of the nucleic acids for bacteria and archaea. So not chromosomes, not linear chromosomes, looped chromosomes, and there's one mega long chromosome, which is the primary chromosome. It'd be like if you took our 2 meters of DNA and just kind of stitched them together. That would be, and then you attached it to the cell wall into a big DNA hula hoop. That's what they got going on here. Viruses, on the other hand, are way different. They have chromosomes. They are linear chromosomes like we do, but they can have double-stranded DNA like we do, but they can have single-stranded DNA. They can have RNA as their primary nucleic acid without any DNA at all, and they can have double-stranded RNA. Now, I don't believe that double-stranded RNA forms a helix. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't done a lot of studies on double-stranded RNA. So viruses are crazy flexible with what their genetic material can be. Their primary genetic material can be double-stranded DNA, single-stranded DNA, single-stranded RNA, or double-stranded RNA. So whatever, viruses, you be you. Now, let's talk about chloroplasts. I have these in green. Chloroplasts and mitochondria kind of have a similar story, and we're going to get to that. They're going to have their own unit because they are big enough to have their own unit. But over here we have eukaryotes that have chloroplasts. This is the site of photosynthesis. So this is where light energy is used to turn water and carbon dioxide into glucose. Amazing. So thank you, eukaryotes, for doing that. And they have a chloroplast organelle to do that. Well, bacteria and archaea, they do not have chloroplasts. Nope. But the proteins that the chloroplasts have, or very, very similar proteins that actually do the chemical reactions to make glucose, are embedded directly into the cell membrane of the bacteria and archaea. So they don't need chloroplasts to do it because they are doing it themselves in their cell membrane. It's kind of a big deal. But it also means their cell membrane has got a lot of work to do. Mitochondria are the same thing. We eukaryotes have mitochondria. Mitochondria break down that glucose and take the energy out of it and put it into ATP. Great. Thank you, eukaryotes, for doing that. But bacteria and archaea do not have mitochondria. Now, if I were wise, I would have put little yellow spots all the way around here because, again, the proteins necessary to do respiration and make ATP out of a glucose is directly in the cell membrane. So there, again, cell membrane is overworked. Now, over here, they don't do photosynthesis. Viruses don't do photosynthesis. Viruses don't make energy. They are viruses. They just destroy. That's all they do. So they don't have all that production stuff because production is sweet. No, they're awful. So get away from me, virus. I hate you. Now over here, the nucleus in purple. Well, yeah, our eukaryotes want to take care of those sweet, sweet chromosomes, that amazing DNA information. So we've got this plasma membrane that surrounds them that is absent from bacteria and archaea, hence the name with the eukaryote, which is nucleus, as opposed to before the karyote, before the nucleus. And now here we have the viruses. They do not have a nucleus. They do have a protein coat. So it's kind of like this cross between the nucleus and the cell wall. It's neither, but it serves the function of surrounding the nucleic acids. So, okay, fine. Kind of like a nucleus. We have an endoplasmic reticulum over here in the eukaryotes, which makes sense because it's an outgrowing of the nucleus. It's a section of the nucleus that has turned into something else that's completely absent in the prokaryotes. So we've got our, we've got our endoplasmic reticulum doing its thing, making transport vesicles that stay within the cell. The Golgi body right here, that is present in eukaryotes, but not present in bacteria or archaea, and it's making its lysosomes and its secretory vesicles that will leave the cell. And lysosomes themselves, since bacteria don't have a Golgi body, they're not going to have lysosomes either. So that's the differences. Sorry for the sudden cut. This video ended up being 8 minutes long, but I thought the first 6 minutes were really good. So we're going to stop right here. That was most of the differences. We have one major difference to go through, and then I want to give you some details about viruses, but we'll do that in the next video. So I hope this helps. Struggle well.